Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for a video that I'm very excited to share with you today. Dragon Man is going to rank 3. So I'm finally able to use that tier 5 class catalyst that I got from my initial clear of the Abyss. I do have the Mystic Awakening gem also, but I'm not going to be awakening him today. I'm going to try and awaken him naturally with some more feature crystals later on in the next couple months. What I want to show off today is Dragon Man's basic damage rotation, a few nifty things about his kit, and some matchups in which I think he excels. I really feel like this character flew under the radar, but he's a very easy character to pick up and use, and I find his rotation very satisfying. So let's get to it. So first off, I want to describe a typical damage rotation for Dragon Man. Dragon Man's kit is all about keeping your opponent in their own corner and just pummeling them into submission. You'll start the fight with a single power charge buff, which will give you some passive power gain. And in the vast majority of fights, the first thing you want to do is get to your special 3. So after this special 3, you'll get 3 power charge buffs, or 4 if you have Diablo on the team with you. So the power charges are kind of like your in-game fight currency, and are used to empower Dragon Man's other abilities. So after your SP3, you are both unblockable and unstoppable, so you want to immediately dash in and start attacking. And from here, you want to fire off a special 2, which will consume 1 power charge in order to apply 3 incinerate debuffs and give you a fury buff. So you'll notice that the incinerates are not doing all that much damage, but we will be using them momentarily. After your first SP2, you'll want to fire off a second SP2 to get yourself a second fury and apply 3 more incinerates to the defender. At this point, you want to either parry and then heavy or heavy counter. A heavy attack will detonate all incinerate debuffs on the defender for a pretty significant burst of damage. You can see just over 33,000 here. And the reason you want to wait to do this is because if you detonate 6 or more incinerates, the damage is increased by 50%. Now, if you're running no synergies, you can use your remaining single power charge to get yourself back up to a special 3 and start the cycle over. But if you have Diablo on the team, you'll have 2 charges remaining at this point, and you can run 2 more special 2s and a heavy before resetting the cycle completely. So one key aspect of Dragon Man's mechanics that aids in this damage cycle is that while your opponent is above 2 bars of power, their combat power rate is significantly reduced. So this allows you to get numerous combos in on them while they're cornered without risking taking a special 3. Not as important in this particular fight because there's no special 3 active, but critical in every other area of the game. Okay, this is a fight against a King Groot in Act 6 with Rage and Resistor, and there are 2 things I want to showcase here. The first is that whenever he's armor broken, Dragon Man applies a passive degen on the defender until the armor break expires. So at the start of this fight here, we're going to intentionally tank a special 1 in order to get the permanent armor break on me, and thereby applying a permanent degen to King Groot for the remainder of the fight. You can see that the degen is ticking for roughly 900 damage per second, so it's not anything huge, but it is enough to make a difference. I would say that it's comparable to the degen that Warlock gets with his awakened ability. This degen can be extremely useful in fights against champions like Annihilus, or Captain Marvel, or Vision Arcus, where you can be armor broken through your block. It can also be useful against nodes like Crumbling Armor or Fissure, just to get some extra damage in while you're trying to bait out special attacks. The second ability I want to point out in this fight is how Dragon Man approaches buffs. He's unique in the Mystic class in that he doesn't have a way to nullify or prevent buffs. Instead, his opponent's buffs just make him stronger. So Dragon Man's damage while the opponent is cornered increases based on the number of unique buffs that they have active. So because of the resistor node, King Groot has about 200% physical resistance here, but you can see that the corner damage is still so potent that we're getting nearly 800 bonus damage per hit. Okay, the next mechanic I want to showcase is my favorite. I mentioned earlier that you are unstoppable after your special 3. So while this unstoppable is active, Dragon Man automatically regenerates 85% of incoming damage as long as it's not damage over time. So with the recovery mastery maxed out, you are healing close to 98% of the damage. So after my special 3 here, I'm going to go straight into Black Bolt and attack, and he's going to fire off his special 1, but Dragon Man has no time for this nonsense. You can see this special 1 hit us for 1,447 damage, but we immediately regenerated 1,414 of it. All of this is to say that while he is unstoppable, Dragon Man is nearly unkillable. Okay, this is a matchup against a Sentinel from Act 6 with the Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and Bubble Shield nodes, the former of which reduces all damage taken unless you have an unstoppable buff. So the length of Dragon Man's unstoppable buff increases based on the number of power charges you had when you launched your special 3. So with the Diablo synergy, you get 16 seconds of unstoppable from every special 3 starting with your second one. If you stick to only using your special 3, you can have an unstoppable buff up for nearly the entire fight. Now that's great against Can't Stop Won't Stop, of course, but combined with his ability to regenerate while he's unstoppable, Dragon Man can achieve near immortality in many matchups if you play him this way. So just to further drive home the point that this ability is completely bonkers, here's a fight from Act 7 against the Aspect of War node. So take note of my health here, which is at 37%. We're going to launch our special 3 to become unstoppable, and then we're just going to let Cap hit us with the special 2, and of course we'll be regenerating the damage from that shield hit. Afterwards, Cap is unstoppable and unblockable from the node, but we don't care. We're just going to go right in and punch the bejesus out of him. You can see that we've actually gained health after this sequence and finished with 48%. I'm not entirely sure why this happened, but I think it has something to do with block proficiency because it was happening against that Sentinel earlier in the video too. In any case, you can use this unstoppable to get easy openings against many types of nodes and opponents without having to worry about taking a ton of damage. I really can't stress just how powerful I think this utility is. Alright folks, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've seen a reason to give Dragon Man a chance. I've really enjoyed playing with him so far. I definitely do not regret ranking him up. If you've enjoyed this video, please help me out by hitting that like button, subscribing for more stuff from me, and as usual, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.